Hello Recumby pals, this is year 4 of my owning the HP Velotechnik SpeedMachine. It's a 2018 that I bought from Zach Kaplan in Alameda. I have a number of other videos about this bike, so I will link those in the description below, and you'll be able to see some of my other descriptions of the bike. I figured I'd give an update now that I have many thousands of miles on this bike. I probably have 10,000, 12,000 miles on the bike. And the short version is this bike has really been a champ. I have enjoyed having it. I was a converted road biker, and now I'm very delighted to be a recumbent biker. I did it for health reasons because I had some neck issues. Those are all better now, but I've stayed with the recumbent. The journey's been very interesting. It's probably taken me 3 years to get really comfortable on the bike. I'm now through 4 years, and I feel great balance and no issues or problems. I still don't ride no-handed. The center of gravity is pretty low on the bike, and it can be difficult to do that. But I feel completely stable, can maneuver the bike into little tight spaces without much trouble. So it has been a long journey. I'm 62 years old. I think if I were much younger, probably would have been a faster transition. So now I thought I would spend a little bit of time discussing some of the changes I've made to the bike. You can see a much more description of the bike in my earlier videos, but I figure I'll just hit the highlights here. So one of the most important things that I did here was I have changed the handlebars out. The original handlebars were these, actually not even the HP Velotechnik handlebars. I had custom gone with these Bachetta long 330 millimeter bars because I wanted to have my hands way back. And these were great bars, but you'll notice that they're quite narrow, and wearing gloves or wearing pants, I would sometimes rub my hands, and that was a problem. So I switched out to these Rans bars, and they're a little bit heavier, and also the external diameter is the same, but the internal diameter is slightly smaller. So to get my bar end shifters on there, I had to bore those out about 15 millimeters in order to fit the bar end shifters, and that's been fantastic. I also have added this Cyclic camera and light to the bike for safety reasons, and this is a really neat product. It's the Cyclic Fly 12, and it takes HD video that's stabilized, and it'll, if you were to crash the bike, which I haven't done, but if you did, it will automatically tag that video for you if the bike goes over, and it has an excellent light. It has about 5 hours of battery life the way I run it, so not as high battery life as I would like compared to my other light, and sometimes I do take some long rides, but it's been very nice. Another major change I have made is I am now using chain wax. So I took my drivetrain off. I have like 12.5 feet of chain on this drivetrain, and I buy it by the foot from TerraCycle. This is the second chain that I've had, and I got tired of lubing this really long chain with all the chain tubes. It was complicated, it was messy. And I read quite a bit about waxing the chain, and so I took the drivetrain apart, cleaned it with mineral spirits and alcohol to the degree that you could actually eat off of it. It was so squeaky clean. And then I used Molten Speed Wax, and this is the product right here, the empty bag. And it is a great product, and I have no problem handling this much chain in a crock pot that I use for this purpose, $10 crock pot. And I wax this chain every 500 or 600 miles. I have a Whipperman quick link that I can easily remove the chain, and it's just a much nicer way to do it. The chain is totally smooth, and more importantly, the drivetrain is completely clean. I mean, you can just grab it with your hands, and it's completely, there's nothing on it. It's just totally clean, which is really nice, and of course it's very smooth. Last year I replaced the idler with the TerraCycle idler, and it is very smooth and substantially better. And these tires now must have 8,000 miles on them, and they are just running great. The rear is the Rene Hurst Nash Pass 44 millimeters, really supple tire. And the front is a Schwalbe G1 Speed 40 millimeter tire. And I run these tubeless, and I have to use the Pan Eraser sealant because the rear tire is so thin and supple that even Stan's leaks through it. So this stuff's a little bit harder to use, but I really like it. Like I say, I probably have 8,000 miles on these tires, amazingly enough, and I have not had a single flat, so it has really been terrific. So that's it, Recumby pals. I'll put other links in the description, but as of year 4, this bike is just perfect. I still run through a few derailleur cables like everybody does. I haven't had to bleed the brakes once in the 4 years I've owned it. I've changed the brake pads a few times, which is very simple to do with these hydraulic brakes. So one happy HB Velotechnik customer. And in where I live, it is rather hilly. There is here in Sonoma County. So this bike has been perfect for that.